right off the bat, we might get that aggression you were just talking about here on this A site.
Double duelist, again, the finally getting to see the international debut. Such a highly anticipated player, and of course he's going to be the tip of the spear, but he's flashed instantly. Melser does not see the gift that's in front of him. Once found, the second falls.
Everybody full blind for like 5 seconds there, it felt like. Thought the server lagged out.
Yeah. And what a gift to wake up to, though, right? As soon as the screen comes back, you have 2 players served up on a platter. And an excellent start for KRU.
Toxin screen down.
And the right call for them as well. 2 players double facing right as that recall comes through from Mindfreak. And they're ready for that to be a recall as well. It's perfect. Now all they got to do is hold off these players up in heaven because the spike is down.
65 HP on Mindfreak, 66 on Divine, not much better off. Although that may have been enough to get a kill. The second, far more labored. KRU get the pistol.
Important start to try to shut down PRX's shenanigans right away. They can be so aggressive on this. I honestly thought that something was going to turn around and kill him still there. But nobody checking that corner. It's tough to do when you're full flashed, and I think, you know, them trying to go quickly out of that, despite not getting anything from the recall, maybe a little bit of misjudgment, but either way, still dangerous. Look, Jing has light armor and a Bucky here, double satchels too. He's gonna go right up mid with Forsaken's flash, and they get control of Mail, but no punish.
Melser takes his quick step back. Nagzet's there close behind and actually finding value onto one already. He got a little ahead of himself there for just a moment.
They could get a plant here though, if they're able to keep Nagzet off the angle. Just a smoke coming back up from Mindfreak might be what they're waiting for. I don't think he bought an extra star here, so I don't think it's actually coming back up. Looking for mistakes right now. And there might be one coming.
That's the Bucky. Oh, the first shot just missed, yeah.
And Kesnet right away taking it to the person that everybody's saying is undisputed GOAT at Raze right now.
Everyone except him. You heard it in the interview. Asked him straight up, are you the GOAT? And he goes, nah. And I know it's early, but at least in that duel, he was right. Kesnet looking for a second, and of course the second found. The Bulldog has no bite to it. Kesnet with 3 and KRU with the second.
Solid anti-eco. And already you're seeing the thing that people were talking about a lot going into this series. KRU, on paper, if you just look at performance, you just look at achievements, any of that, you might think, yeah, for sure, PRX is the favorite in this.
Yeah,
but when you look at play style, you think KRU have a massive chance to have a stylistic difference against PRX, something that people have theorized forever, but barely ever comes to fruition against PRX with their aggression. If you can just weather that, if you can play a nice slow default, understand what's going on, and not succumb to it, then you have chances.
Which is much easier said than done, but at least early on, KRU have managed to do just that.
Melser's gotten deep in A main here. Challenging Mindfreak.
Nagzet is nothing but a sheriff. In the situation of Guardian in the hands of Davies. There you go, now you know. He gets the satchel out of there to avoid damage. He still took a little bit.
Yeah, gets healed back up, but the thing you're mentioning, Nagzet with just the sheriff, Jing, because he went for that Bucky light armor, the only player to really invest in that last one.
Yeah.
Does only have a judge, so channeling Wisey from yesterday.
What a show that kid put on. Man. It was so much fun to watch. PRX looking and threatening to pop out towards B. Melser's still back here. Well, he was back there. Instantly dropped by the 2 entries from PRX.
I mean, 3 entries, Forsaken as well.
Oh, they're going to try to funnel out from heaven. And Mindfreak cleans up both.
Really good anti-bonus there from PRX, and that was controlled, okay? They're not just going for complete antics down mid or anything like that, sending Jing far with this. They took control of mid, got punished for that, and instantly went back into B.
A prime gaming flawless gets PRX on the board, and you're right, I think it was a bit more methodical, right, than maybe some would have hoped, to be honest.
Yep.
Some would have expected, but that certainly was what got them to this round.
And look at this from Forsaken, I mean,
what?
Jeez. And the double flash as well coming through just completely denies the drop down earlier and allows Mindfreak to be positioned perfectly against all of it. And something looking comfortable so far. It looks like he's just going straight for the roll. He's not getting crazy flashy plays yet. And this is flashy. Double satchel up towards ramp. Nobody here to be found though from Jing.
The timing on that is so pretty, man. The smoke pops just on the other side, or the flash, excuse me, pops just on the other side of the smoke. They're able to take the space, clear out the trip.
Jumps on top of the box to avoid the spam. The Boombot saves a little bit of time there too.
Melser's really wide by himself.
That double peek there from Mindfreak and something is so well played. They're completely on the other side of the map, but they're going for a peek in the middle of this. And it's tough to tell that there's going to be two swinging there, and something swings wide off of it as well.
Yeah.
Now the lurk in position here for Mindfreak.
I've got
Gonna
your
get challenged by Nagzet as this A execute comes in. Might be a free kill for them.
Oh, meanwhile, the rest of the site's happening. The hit's happening on site. You see it. Nagzet got cleaned up. Caught unawares of the situation before him. A clean peek out from Kesinit, though. He's got to get more. Almost does, but it's just not enough.
This was an incredible round again from PRX, and from something specifically. This is why we were excited for this kid. When we see the replay here, I'll point out a few things. The way that he's actually dynamically creating some of these angles are crazy good. First, he dashes out, gets this kill on the entry, then dashes back while Forsaken is going for another peek. That is just so well done, and easily allows those kills to be traded no matter what. Using that dash perfectly. And now he's at the top of the scoreboard. Right away, has knives too. KRU down to an eco instantly after a solid start with the pistol win.
Oh, and it's a cheeky approach at this eco too.
You're pushing down mid against PRX.
I mean, maybe a flash on the other side, but it's quiet. As soon as the wall goes down, they try to make a play on it, but PRX ready.
And that's just crazy from Jing too, and expected. And honestly, you look at anybody else doing that, and it's a bad play.
Yeah, yeah. Jing just operates on different rules, man.
He really does. He's satcheling into 4 people pushing and gets 2 kills.
Spike planted.
Just different. KRU are gonna need to find ways to be able to pivot effectively in the mid round, because that's what PRX is doing right now. On those first 2 gun rounds that we saw where PRX got their first 2, it was some early pressure in one direction, and then you're getting picked off on other sides of the map where you've created weak sides inside of your defense because you're rotating to deal with the rest of it. It's such a tough task to deal with PRX.
Even when you know what's coming to a degree, it's just so difficult to handle, you're right.
And some people like to try to fight fire with fire. This eco was an example of that. But it's the lead now for PRX. I think one thing they're gonna have to shore up is how to defend that trademark, the trip that Davies is putting in. Timeout called from Coach Adam immediately here.
Just a couple rounds in, you see it on the timeline. PRX have won the last 3, and it's been via mid-rounding. It's been via some very electric plays from the star duelist on PRX's squad. Well, one of many. One of like 4 or 5, if we're being honest. But it was a quiet start. I think he was sitting at 0-2, maybe 0-3 at the beginning, but he's very quickly gotten comfortable.
I think he was comfortable from the start, despite that pistol round getting flashed up.
Sure. I don't know what it means, but I'm imagining that was really funny. The crowd liked it.
And you know what's crazy?
Yeah, tell me what's crazy.
We're here in the Shrine right now. We're watching KRU and PRX. We're talking hyped up about this game. And don't get me wrong, I think the Shrine here is hyped up for this game. But the amount of Kong fans I heard inside this arena waiting for that next game is crazy.
That doesn't sound like they've gone anywhere.
Right now, we gotta watch this debut from something. This debut from a PRX squad where we haven't seen their full roster since Pacific League. They got 3rd with a sub. Right now, looking for validation on the global stage to see whether that same streak can continue, because it did feel like they were touched by a special aura in Tokyo.
What do KRU do on the other side of this timeout? What adaptations do they make?
This is so tough. I mean, PRX start the round quiet as a mouse. And KRU have no real idea of how to play against this because it hasn't happened yet, and you're just gonna have this B-pop against Melzer.
That nade is gonna be well timed, but Jing has gotten out. Kesnet with the showstopper, not finding anything as gravity well keeps him in place. Now Jing repositioning, 29 HP in the nade, provides some space, but Melzer from down low gets 3 on the round. Forsaken and Divide, the only 2 that remain. Forsaken getting a couple, trying to equalize things, trying to get it back to equal footing, and he cannot quite yet. Divide's timing, oh, he was ready. Forsaken with 3. It's gonna have to be all 5 if he wants to pull this off.
Gotta grab Spike here. And the Trailblazer, I don't think spotted him fall off.
No, I don't think so either, but he only has 5 bullets.
I think it might have all of a sudden. You see both the players on the mini-map falling off, reflanking down mid.
Oh, but he's rotating their way. He doesn't have a flash.
They're going sewers. Oh my goodness.
30 seconds
Anyone
left.
makes a step, they're gonna hear it.
They're gonna hear him for
Yeah,
sure.
surely they hear that.
It's a weird position though, because do you have the timing to go up the rope and set up a nice crossfire against him, or are you just
Wait, no, you're gonna ISO the fights. That's okay, because Forsaken did his knife out.
Yep. Really well played there from Klaus and Davies. I'm so curious whether that dog spotted him fall back into B main with the spike there.
See if we get another look at it again.
This was such a good hold from Melzer.
Oh, yeah.
The paint shells as well, combining with the grab vault, forcing only Jing and something to be out, means that Melzer can take that fight. So there's still life here from KRU instantly on that quiet round. Let's see how PRX responds. An attack side off right now by something.
And an aggressive right off the bat pit from Nagzet across mid.
I got the spike.
That's good because it shuts down that main default that PRX has been running where they're trying to get into Nagzet's position. Look at how they swapped up the trip as well for Davies. He's playing on that B site. No op.
Yeah.
On top of the map, and here we go. Something going for a peek here against Kesnet. It's just Jiggles coming up. The dog timing is perfect, but they still don't know about this op in the toolkit from PRX.
See the smoke start to go down, the stars. You see the flash over the top, and Jing electric on the entry, but Kesnet keeping him back.
And that's the second nade getting thrown out. Divide has to dodge. Jing's entry movement there was really good, but the response from Kesnet better. Able to trade inside of sight. And now they have to reposition something onto trying to get an entry back onto the site. And yeah, he has to actually give up the op. So he can dash instead. He doesn't even have it though.
One of the joys of having a double duelist. So you can pivot to your second.
Look at this
But
reclear.
you're right, it's not fast. And you're right, KRU have taken so much space down ramps, and I don't think PRX are aware. The first one's a little bit sloppy, but the second comes through. KRU with 3, something left alone.
I got the spike.
Them KRU banner boys roll D.
Party's on.
That's one onto PRX, so a few seconds left in a 1v3, something. This would be quite the welcome to the international stage. He can't pull it off this time.
That's 2 rounds in a row where the reclear is phenomenal. That last one was a very different situation. Here, KRU had the advantage. They already shut down the A main push from Jing, double satcheling in, and the nade grab-vault combo. But then walking back down ramp is perfect. That's one thing that's a tendency from PRX is they don't pivot much. When they have an idea, they try to full send at it multiple times, and usually there's plenty to go after. Here's an op on this side, defense, trying to pick.
Something with Blades though, and the flash up top. How do you handle both? He can, he's got to get away. The showstopper used. So much space lost in heaven already. And look at him, the tandem trying to find space. The blades don't land, actually neither does. Cloud keeps them both down. Jing still with the judge, nothing found. PRX finally break their way through the site.
Player standing.
And it leaves Melzer by himself. Forsaken on the plant, he's healthy. Plenty of ammo in the clip. Plenty of time too. He can play this one methodically, carefully, but is he expecting this double flank around Pillar? I don't know that he is. Now they've segmented the stun on the first, nothing connected, and Forsaken takes care of him without any awareness.
That is very unlucky there from Melzer, actually. His star was just not in time. You saw him go in the astral form a couple of times.
Yeah, twice.
Trying to stun. In fact, he was literally putting a star, if it existed, on top of both of them. That stun could have been crazy, but just not quite enough. That's another example there of PRX just busting through. The showstopper going up through top ramp, and they realized that that trademark was kind of shifted off. And now something back with this op. It's actually Forsaken. They're going to go for a fast A hit because of this. Something's going to dash on, and that's why he's giving up the op.
Jink and double satchel with it too.
Perfect nade on Davies.
Drops a pop shot, just a warning to let him know what's in play.
Oh.
There it is, right into his face, and the shorty drops him. 73 HP, and he's going in for more. A second, perhaps a third! Something finds it!
There.
What a round from PRX. Fast from beginning to end. Prime Gaming Flawless comes through.
And it forces an eco round here from KRU. Look at this. He has a Vandal, and he's dashing in to the chamber where he knows he just missed an op shot.
One enemy remaining.
And he knows he's not going to be quick to adjust onto it. Just such a good play. And then you saw the rest of it. I think this guy's the real deal, guys. I think something absolutely is the real deal right now.
He certainly seems unfazed. On the big stage, Davies with the ult and something with the kill. Oh, he's heating up. All of this anticipation about what kind of player he would be under the brightest lights, and it's fully coming through to fruition.
How was Jing up there? He double satcheled out of B main up into heaven.
And Kesnit had no idea, because why would you expect something like that? Oh, we're getting silly.
No, we're getting the moments where I just feel bad for the observers. Through Ivy.
When they play at this
Dude,
pace.
what is he doing? Look at him. He's just jumping in the background.
Yeah. Bro, when they play at this pace, when it's this high octane.
This is what we love about PRX, man.
Yeah. It's just such a different variety, a different flavor of Valorant. It burns a little, but it's good.
And it's gotten so refined too, Doug.
Yeah, it really has.
I mean, we might fall into the doldrums here of just chaos, but you saw it in the beginning of this game, how we started seeing those slow rounds. We started to see them make just really good calls out of the defaults. Good shots from something.
Poison's gone.
Just crazy. And you're starting to see it on the faces of the KRU players. A little bit of despair at what's going on right now, because it's a frustrating team to play against. It's like YZ yesterday. I know I've already made the reference, but they're in your face. They're using shotguns. It's not normal. It's not what you normally play against. It's not what you scrim against.
It's miserable to play against. It's just suffocating. You know, we talk about teams who have the approach of death by 1,000 cuts, and it's so refined and it's so particular, and then you have this.
Fake. The thing is, normally you get this double dive through, and there's no double dive. Nagset knows, so they're holding pretty. This fake did nothing.
That nade is going to segment them off for just a little bit. You see him playing on the other side of the wall.
Crazy part is, yeah, sure, the fake did nothing, but they still have all of this entire kit for themselves to make and execute happen on the safe side, and we've seen them barrel through many times already.
Hasn't invested the ult. There's something with Blades, and he's got a little bit more room for high ground. What's the cue for them to go? Off of the flash, he tries to get up high, tries to find some space, and he finds Melser with it. Jane repositioning, down in hell, finding another kill. I mean, they do so well at getting him out. Woo. That would have been Phil. Now they've invested the pit. Now they're going to have to get through that. Davies alone in a 1v3. He's going to have to do so much work.
Oh, he spotted Device head there.
But well handled by Divide. Reposition. You hear the shot. A fake. Nothing but a ruse to suggest that he have dropped down, but he's still up on high.
Oh, again, another fake too. These little sound cues are perfect against PRX. They love to peek off of them, so surprised the discipline from both players right now.
They haven't moved an inch. And Davies is running out of time. The bait was never taken. Davies has to cut his losses.
He might have an op somewhere up here in heaven. I don't think so, but just gonna duck out regardless.
You imagine it's gonna be on Divide to try to pick up, because something had it at the beginning of the round.
Either way, their bank is huge. And we've only got
that's true.
one more round, so let's take a look. Jing was, I mean, these shots that he's hitting, diving into the smoke again. And yeah, I mean, we're going to have to rely on watching. There's no way you expect Jing to continue to W key there.
No.
It's stuck down.
Well, and it reminds me of the frustration that we saw in Kesnit's face, because that's the second time he's been on the receiving end of something like that.
Yep.
Where someone's satcheling up into a smoke that you wouldn't expect with a Bucky or a Shorty or a Judge or, you know, whatever it is. You don't get a chance to breathe.
Double satchel coming in again here from Jing.
And that's what PRX does so well, and you're about to see it again. There's the satchel, there's the flash.
Oh, he missed
he
up.
got a little too high.
Still a nice position.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able to get out with it the same way.
Yeah, but even just having that active is pressure. All the crew players have fallen off.
Well, and I think the other thing, too, is something filling in on that space going with him. Adds an additional threat. Look at how far up they are on the side
Have
at this
retake
point.
tools. Cosmic Divide's coming out. They're going to flood.
The plan has already gone down, though.
Oh!
Kesnit with the second on the nade. But you see the Seekers invested for them to try to take the space back. It's going to have to be Jing and Divide by themselves. Jing with 2, Divide in a 1v3. And once again, the possibility that they don't know. But now, position given away. Element of surprise lost. Those 2 mollies intended to cut off any approach. Davies from trying to find some space down low. He's dropped out onto Melser. Davies is going to have to get half. He's going to stick it. He's going to try to stick. No, he pulls off and Divide! Divide with 3. PRX with 8 in the Red Bull clutch.
Switching sides.
This is why so many people were calling this guy underrated. He's falling midair. Look at this. I mean, the worst timing ever for Klaus, and I'm pretty sure Divide made footsteps there, but look at this. You really expect him to be creeping out there, I guess, from Melzer. I'm not quite sure what the idea there was, but it nets him a 1v3, and PRX with a huge lead on that attack side.
8-4 half.
It over to Dog and Balla.
Thank you so much, fellas. Jumping right into the action again. A 4-round lead for PRX. Now they're on the defensive side. This double duelist comp. Balla, you expect aggression. You expect
it's
pace.
coming, Doug. It's coming. Nade coming through something, and Forsaken are going to flash and just push this.
Are they waiting on contact, though? Are they waiting on info? No, they just want to go for it. And it seems like crew are ready. They're aware. They've got a flash of their own. Something has fallen again. That nade is going to hurt, though. Forsaken still hasn't taken any damage. They even invested a gravity well.
And they might lose both pistols here. They're in a really bad... Forsaken's still facing here. It's crazy. I think knowing Klaus may be low, maybe an easy 2K, but nothing done at all. How is he finding the timing to follow them here through spawn?
It's just outrageous.
It's lucky. They could just be right there.
Yeah.
Then he'd be dead. Instead, they're going to get a crazy... I mean he has the lead on the fact that it's going towards B right now.
Yeah, they've got pings on the mini-maps. They know where they are. Oh, he's not jumping up with the frog. He wants to take the fight. I thought he was going to tuck.
Good from crew to go back through mid there.
Yeah. Trying to clear that out. Divide. One of the final pieces remaining to get this round.
Oh, is this flash going to ping? Yes.
30 seconds left.
No, Mind Freak is by himself. Klaus is weak. It's just a classic.
Spike planted.
Davies is the first to spot, and Kesnit is the one who gets the kill. A 3K on the round for him as crew get another pistol.
And again, just like what Sean was talking about the pistol on the desk at halftime there. It's a great idea from crew, but one that PRX, I mean, they just can choose not to do that again, essentially. And if they do, too, crew is going to have to start bringing up the pace themselves.
Yeah, something was out there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It was real out there.
And the wall was up, so the flash that Forsaken threw didn't really get too much there.
Yeah. Once again, much like the previous half, PRX just investing a Bucky after losing the pistol.
And it's light armor again, too. Jing really going into this idea of getting a judge in the anti-bonus, which I kind of like, especially on split. There's certain maps where the judge just hits different.
But the thing is, he's so far away right now. He's got a nade to help, but it's contacted out, and he was flashed up. Kesnit's able to get one, but there it is. The Bucky finds value. So it's been a bit labored to get out of garage, to get out onto B.
That's a random gravel flash combination that they're trying to get value out of.
Big from Davies to get that kill onto something. There was no gun advantage there. That was a ghost into a sheriff. And that's a round for crew. So they're hanging around, and they're doing it via the pistols. They're doing it via the following rounds. They're staying in this game.
Absolutely. It's only 2 between them, despite the fact that I think a lot of people watched that first half and might have thought PRX was absolutely far and away ahead of KRU, but it's not the case.
I mean, it felt that way a lot of times, to be honest.
And again, these pistols make the difference. It's very rare you see teams win both pistols and end up losing the game overall. It happens, but quite rare.
He's up real aggressive. He's got the dash procced. And I don't know that there will be a challenge.
Poison orb emitting.
What do they do off this? I wonder if there's movement off of that flash. But Forsaken just got probably the easiest kill of his life.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier. They love to peek off of sound, and
wow.
And they also love to peek on other sides of the map whenever there's other sound, whenever there's comms going on. This fight in the smoke, I mean, Jing has the advantage, but...
Yeah, Davies has a Phantom. There's no way you win a Phantom fight. Oh my gosh. Never mind.
And the re-push back from Forsaken. He got that kill early. Goes all the way back into A site to help anchor with this very unique Viper wall that's going down here from Devi. It's tough to take the site with this against an anchor.
Yeah.
So Melzer seeing that might make the call to go over, but they're also working the map on 3 sides. This is, I mean, PRX type of classic round.
And you got to be careful here, because for KRU, you would think they'd have lighter weaponry in this situation, given this is the 3rd round of the half, but they have 3 rifles. This is not a done deal by any means, but Mindfreak's positioning, along with some things, could be the difference maker. The first falls, not expecting Davies up top. Melzer's going to find the timing on a Forsaken. This is well handled, but it's going to leave Melzer by himself with 10 seconds left. The spike's not in hand. He's got no shot.
Yep. They all split up, and that's the danger, right? If one piece falls, then all of a sudden you're losing so much in the rest of the round. And PRX there was expecting the flank from Melzer. They had 2 players already dedicated to watching any stairs push and any spawn push through A Heaven. Because of the man advantage, they played that very well. That re-clear through B main, it's something that KRU had some success with in that first half on defense. But PRX, I mean, they really pounce on advantages like that. Same, always a 1-3-1 or 4-1 here coming out from KRU. And that's a defensive star there for Mindfreak.
Yeah, that's so cheeky. Just a little bit to obscure vision, just to conceal what's happening, but he repositions, puts that smoke up. He's going to tuck back in. No, he stays.
They get Kesnit's ult and all that, so that B main control works out for something.
Look at how far up he is. He's by himself. There's no help here. There's no flash. The dog spots him. He gets the first, trying to get the second, not able to do so.
A lot of damage done. That's going to get healed back up.
Blinded.
Something almost got extra value there. Instead, just goes 1 for 1, which isn't that great.
No, he was set up for a Reddit moment, though, wasn't he?
Still trading util here. Traded the dog away. And we're seeing, actually, with that info that Forsaken got on Davies being the guy B main, he's rotating all the way back towards A. And that might be the wrong call, but Jing up close with a shotgun. They might be really happy to have this position bolstered.
He's also got the nade. He's got the satchels. That's the first dead. He's swinging around looking for the second and finds it. The third falls too! Like dominoes at the legs, at the feet of Jing. They crumble.
Kick down the entire show. And winning the anti-bonus, winning this following round 2 is exactly how PRX clapped back despite those rough pistols that they've had.
Yeah.
It feels like those pistols were the most gambly we've seen out of PRX so far. Yeah, sure, they overheat in moments. But in terms of initial round idea, for a team that we still don't really know, I mean, all we know is that they're sharing the IGL responsibility among all of them. And we theorize it's one person really taking the brunt of it on certain maps and whatever, but it's crazy that they're able to make such good calls throughout the mid-round and initial rounds. In games like this, when most of the time we've heard it's Forsaken IGL.
Yeah.
Look at this high-low already set up pre-round with something in Mindfreak. With the B main presence going in, Kesnet might end up trying to peek or maybe ult out.
How miserable to have to deal with. You see the recalled star?
How does he have his dash active already?
The man is aware. The man knows that flash. I didn't think he got any info, but it may have. He turns the flash, and Mind Freak falls. That's how you deal with it.
Yeah.
That works.
I think in this game, it's so difficult to stick with initial setups that are just based off the guns because of so much util. Just one flash breaks it down, but they're getting back into it.
Does he pop the blades and go?
No.
Come on, man. Do it for the people. He gets Davies, takes a step back.
Evens it back out, and the great thing about this is they hold on to that gun, so here comes a satchel.
Oh, dude. Traded, though. Well handled. Forsaken on the swing. The timing is so good. But Klaus again, a second kill with the Sheriff in the round.
I just got to see something's POV there. I think he one-tapped him out the air.
Yeah, I think so, too. Got to keep an eye on Nagzet here. The timing that he may find. There's still so much room for Crew to work with.
Yeah, this is an eco round, too, remember.
30
Right by,
seconds
just
left.
Sheriff's out. And they've got themselves a great position. This lurk from Nags, he doesn't know what's in sight.
The thing is, they're not going to be able to upgrade any of these weapons, right? They're going to go towards A, where none of the action is taking place. Yeah, bodies are littered towards B, and that's where PRX are, but there's not going to be any advantage found.
10 seconds left.
Crew will manage to get the spike down, and now they're going to have to deal with this fight that's impending.
Are they both going to double up and spawn here? That might give them the best chances.
Yeah, I respect it. Power and numbers, the first shot.
Oh, he has 2 mollies. He can delay for quite a while, actually.
This is all a game of time at this point, but he swings ahead of it. Jing gets both, and PRX get another round. Man, that does look good, doesn't it?
It sounds good.
Yeah.
I was just listening and not going to lie, bobbing my head.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that he chose to swing there, given that the molly was cutting off.
Yeah,
I guess they thought maybe he's going to push it. It's a more advantageous fight, given they may be vulnerable, taking a little bit of damage, but...
Yeah, here it is, Jing.
Ooh!
Something. Oof. And he didn't have his dash, remember, he used it a little earlier. That's just ridiculous.
What?
Yeah, going back to the final moments of that attempted eco from Crew, you're right. You were surprised that they push out. I think it's because of the follow-up from getting that plant down. They both go into screens. They want to take the 2v2
Yeah.
when it's kind of unexpected. But
Yeah, and that...
I think when you already see Nagzet throwing out his molly, I think if you're PRX, you're ready for that. You're kind of knowing, okay, there's a guy there. Let's keep our guns out, you know?
Sure. And I think that makes a lot of sense. My question was, after the molly's dropped, the swing comes out.
Yeah.
Right? That's where I was just really surprised to see that. But, I mean, Crew fans still happy, still hanging in on this thing. As are Crew. You see the scoreline, 11-6 in favor of PRX, but Crew are hanging around.
Bro, why they got the Crew bannerman all the way in the back? If they want some encouragement for the players on stage, they got to get loud.
That's going to be tough, too, because you hear the PRX fans come to life.
I'm loving it. Let's get this dueling fan bases inside this auditorium going. But right now, PRX in full control. Right now, 2 rounds away from ending this potentially. On map 1, on Crew's map pick.
Here.
The interesting thing here, Pearl is picked by PRX next. Let's get to that later, but
Yeah, something as
Crew's
a judge.
good on that.
Something as a judge. It's been Jing this whole time.
Here.
You've got a nade set up from Jing once there's contact. Maybe a molly, but no flash, nothing like that. And of course, it's aggressive. Of course, it's space taken, but Davies is here with the op. And you know it's trained on that tight angle. Do you face? Do you swing?
What's better, the 4.7K weapon or the...
Oh, the timing! It's so good, but he spots him!
I've got your trail.
I mean, that pinch is just so difficult!
You want to fight it?
Here they go. Spike is completely on the other side of the map. And there's no Omen to pick it up.
Oh.
What do you do? How do you decide to end this round? It's a 2v5. It should be easy. But with the amount of time that they're spending right now, it might be difficult.
Should be, and you see them concerned with cutting off the rotations in from spawn. You've got the Cosmic Divide back there. Mind Freak makes his way through, so they've gotten up to heaven. And Forsaken's timing, what?
That's great from Davies. Just
it's massive from
knowing
Davies.
exactly what the win condition is, getting that spike in, he holds the line.
Seems like
Forsaken
30
probably
seconds left.
actually knew what was coming. He
Spike planted.
was scratching his head why the spike hadn't been planted.
Yeah.
I think he might have realized that KRU wasn't ready to go into that A side yet.
still should be a decent amount of money for PRX, but the op stays alive. A 3K for Davies and a Prime Gaming Flawless for KRU to stay in this fight.
Trust me, say they make mistakes. When they do, take advantage.
Gotta love it from the man on the screen right there, Davies. Dodging the boombot that came through early from Jing that set up something on the angle and then starting to take the space. That's how you fight against this team. Give little information. Listen to what they're throwing out themselves to look for setting up these trap plays and then work into them now that you know. That's really nicely done. But I mean, we're following almost the identical pattern from the first half here, where the little run gets put on from PRX and the distance expanded between the two of them.
And for KRU, you've got to find something to bridge that gap before it becomes a canyon.
Here.
Spike not currently in tow. As you see KRU perhaps awaiting a mistake from the defense.
Scout
Maybe a
destroyed.
little bit of information. Something once again with the judge and once again up close. You see the two defensive Astra Stars flanking him. And you've got to expect the possibility of that, right? You've got to respect the fact that they've shown that they're willing to do that. And I mean, that little bit of info instills so much paranoia on the attacking side. You can't just check a smoke. You can't do anything like that. Something has invested the blades. Seekers come through as well. You see the flash over the top from Forsaken as the team like KRU want to test the waters mid. Divide will be there to greet. Two are found. There's the showstopper, a third.
Spike down mid.
Spike down harmlessly on the ground, instantly scoop backed up, and guess what? It's going right into something, right into that judge. A possibility to end the round as he goes up top, not able to get the second. Davies left alone, a 1v2. Another clutch situation potential for KRU. He tries to control the spray, tries to control the crosshair, and he cannot. PRX on map point.
Match point.
It's a good idea from KRU. They got that default going. They challenged Divide, but losing two against him, it's not going to cut it. Right here, this moment, with 30 seconds left, and they don't get the showstopper out. They don't get the real tools here from PRX that they need to down. Again, execution could be a little quicker, but this is what happens when you play against PRX. You start to get scared. You start to play much slower than you normally would.
You hear the tour de force was used in the pit shortly after. Try to keep an eye on what's in play in this round. Nagzet has his ult as well.
Blinded.
That flash getting some info of what's on the other side of the pit, but nothing really to confirm where. Jing has been quiet for a little bit. He still has full utility. If they push into this defensive side, it may be trouble.
Yeah, he's in a good spot too.
Yeah,
Blinded.
that flash,
Near the
that's a lot
discipline
of info.
box. With all this group up towards A, and something with the deep line on B. They've got information right now. They've got damage too from
Yeah.
Forsaken spamming.
I mean, even the pit mid, they know where the hit's coming. Uh-oh, that flash got a little silly up there by Forsaken. Doesn't find its mark, and Davies finds his out onto the site. The spike shortly close. Forsaken, what a flick, what a snap. An attempt at the second, and it's prolonged, but it's found. Not able to find the third, a 3v3. Now the attack side pit dropped.
Yeah, great thing here though is PRX has immediately confirmed that all three players are within that pit based off of the flank coming through.
Kessen's the only one out there.
Should be a gun for something to pick up. No, he's just gonna go with the shorty. Dude.
I mean, just so many warning shots, and there it is. There's the shorty, there's the kill found. Davies. What a quick turn. What a round for PRX. They take split 13-7.
And it's incredibly decisive to get into this. 10 seconds for this pistol round. KRU versus PRX, map 2. And we've already seen 2 pistols lost from PRX. and KRU success in all of them. This time it looks like PRX's approach is a lot less considered. In fact, it's KRU going on the crazy aggression here. 4 players through A main.
Oh, hello. Divide just spotted a whole lot with the dog. Drops the flash, gets away. The orb wasn't even picked up by KRU there.
Wow, and the defensive wall that KRU is throwing out is really cool, but it's just completely circumvented here.
Whoa.
Through Street.
Dave is feeling a little bit of the pressure right off the bat, has to take a step back. Oh, and look at this triple, this 4-player flank, but Devi's there to greet it! Devi and Mindfreak hold them back. They all fall. It's a perfect round for PRX to kick off this map.
How fitting for them to get the Prime Gaming Flawless for their first pistol after struggling on it so much on Split. And again, the coin flip was taken by KRU here, and it fails. That wall, again, was so good at actually denying the B-long while you're stalling as Killjoy by yourself. But they just go through Street, and then the follow-up, too, is just so nice. This is the thing about PRX. Devi was alone in Street for so long, and instantly Mindfreak is like, oh, he's alone. Let me come fill his space.
Yeah.
And he's there to start trading with him, and it's just perfect.
No early denial of space by KRU this time around.
There is that high tide going through, and it's actually in front of that turret, so the thing is, PRX probably don't even know that that wall's being used right now. And thinking that the turret actually should get value in mid, but there's no push anyway, so it doesn't matter. There's that Blaze wall from Phoenix that Sean was talking about, how he gets space on both the B and A sides here. Blocking out Art, denying a push through on that. And they play full post here.
Yeah, really not wanting to take this fight. And you can even see it in how KRU posted up, at least initially. You wonder, because given PRX's DNA, you'd expect them to scale a little off of that or at least hold on site, but certainly not the case, and KRU glad not to take the fight. You imagine they're just going to want to die to the spike.
Yeah. It's interesting here, too, because there's not actually that many ults close for PRX, so out of all the decisions you take, I think in most cases, yeah, Jing would be close, but instead it's Devi who's the closest.
Interesting, too, that the aggression is a little delayed, but they are going to get out. Forsaken might stay, try to get a kill, not able to do so. And there we go. PRX win the first pistol, and they win the second round, too.
Nobody in the crowd said question mark. Interesting. Perfect anti-eco again. It wasn't a flawless, obviously, but it could have been. They just got on site. KRU stacked the wrong place.
Oh, now check out what PRX are doing with this. The attack setup is already back out.
Wow.
It's just in the third round. Light armor for him. Guy hasn't even taken a fight. He's already gifted with one.
And he has one more A2 left over.
Well, that is, that would suck to be sitting in.
And that's what I love about this.
All right, op found. They know what's before them now.
That A main control that we just saw with the Molly, the grab wall too, it's impossible to get through. There's even another nanoswarm thrown to layer on top of that.
Yeah, and the flash over the top to make sure they can't see a thing.
They're going for the reclear here, but this flash is going to be able to get Jing back in. And the rest of the cavalry is coming up as well.
Essentially throwing a pause on the round.
And look, Bogdan's Law in effect. They've swapped it to Devi, who's low HP. Something picks up the Spectre, and they're going to go for an A split. As a 5v3.
They have the Seekers online invested too, and they're going to flood their way out onto the site. There's surely no way that KRU can hold this back. There's just so much power.
They haven't had a chance at a bonus yet, but they've succeeded at converting. So these streaks that we've been so accustomed to throughout this series so far have started off, and they're going to start real hot here. PRX on this attack.
And this feels like the concern of the conversation we had on Split, right? Imagine had PRX won those two pistols.
Yeah, it would have been a blowout.
Yeah, and
maybe 13-4 or something like that.
Yeah, given how this is starting, you can't help but wonder. That looked real shaky.
That is shaky indeed. It's tough here for KRU. They come out of an LCQ run that we have, the world has never seen something like that.
Yeah.
From going 0-9 and then qualifying for champs here. But then they come here and they get matched up against PRX.
How about coming in on a high and getting punched in the mouth right back down?
And they were on a complete high throughout LCQ. They get reset here completely. I mean, you're at a new start of a tournament. It's been a couple weeks. And now how do you deal with this? How do you deal with not having the success right out the gate that you did have during LCQ? How do you deal with not getting the wins that bring your momentum back up?
Marshall for Kesnet. He's playing towards B. PRX intent on hitting A, at least initially.
I mean, they're just working picks here with something's off. Again, I've talked about how they're so good at getting ops on the line.
Placing swarm grenade.
This A side is just free over and over. And again, it's another eco. Ooh, alarm bot's down, actually. Melzer gets through it, but there's a follow-up turret, so nice.
Planted.
Unlucky, really.
Careful.
They swapped the op again.
Yeah, and it was for something to be able to dash in and get the spike down and then get out. So you're right, Divide with that weapon. KRU with an attempt at a retake here was just a Marshall. Sheriff's surrounding it, but it's going to be a difficult ask regardless. You see the spams going through the utility. Maybe you catch a free one, something lucky to get you going, Jing, on the flash, and there it is. There's the first lucky one.
There is a cove.
You're going to need a lot more luck than this, though. The gravity well, you see him snapping through, and well, that luck may be coming through unless Mindfreak can do a lot about it, and so far he can. Nagsat having to run for the fences, and there's nowhere else to go. PRX up 4-0.
Divide just lost the op. He just lost the op for no reason.
They've got money.
I know, but like...
Yeah, not great.
What is it? You just went AFK at the end of the round.
The fist bump is more important, man. Vibes win championships. What do they do from here? Kesnet now with the op. We saw that duel a couple of times on Split, and I mean, something had Kesnet's number for most of it.
Well, it was Davies who actually was opping on Split, remember? So this is
right.
kind of a new... What is that? I mean, he's literally playing ranked here.
And did you see him smiling the whole time on the way down? He knows, man. He knows what he's doing. Mindfreak 1 point away from having his ult on line, and PRX have drawn a line in the sand mid.
The molly to clear the little cubby that people play in so much.
And the dog, too, to make sure. Dude.
He could have got... If somebody was there, they could have gotten stunned in that molly. To get followed up with by this push from something. Avoiding the op completely here. And again, they don't really pivot that often.
There it is. Nagsat with a good opener. On to something. Jing taking a little bit of damage.
They're going to have to rely on the rest of the push here, and that's through a Viper wall, through an alarm bot.
But the Cosmic Divide should equal things out just a bit.
That might give room for Jing to lurk out, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's so far up on it already.
Oh, this flash getting clear back all gives room for Jing to go for this.
He still has 2 flashes, so he can push this in if he wants to. But they're going to try to reaggress back hauls, and Jing's there with 2. The flash on the 3rd. No one dare await. Mindfreak gets a 2nd, and once again, it seems like KRU just fall.
Mindfreak could get taken out here by Kesnet late.
He's got the op. Dash at the ready.
Oh, the jump spot with the smoke up right now.
Spot 1.
They're saving now.
No window found. Dash expires. And yeah, Forsaken falls, but the round is lost.
Even worried about the flank coming through, too. I feel like Jing had 3 flashes this round, I'm not going to lie.
Maybe 4. I mean, he just held on to them for so long. You think he didn't have to use a single one until he was already back sight when the Cosmic Divide had been invested and where PRX had already taken B. And the other interesting thing is, you know, when we see a Phoenix on Pearl, or really anywhere, but on Pearl, the #1 objective, get him orbs, get him orbs, get those ults online, you know, get milked at as much as you can. I haven't seen a single play like that.
No, he hasn't gotten an orb. I'm just looking at this right now.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten a single one.
There's 4 up and 3 kills, 1 death. Here's the molly, the grav wall coming through as well. We've seen it before. That completely denies like Kesnet the space that he got last round.
Yeah.
But he will still be able to get on that angle. I wonder if they follow it up with a smoke.
That's a bad day.
He did
shooting off the op.
He did get a shot off on something.
Yeah.
A leg shot.
Forsaken gets his ult online. And they have to heal something back up, you're right.
This ult
Placing swarm grenade.
that Forsaken now has, he's even mauling it back right now. They broke it though.
Down.
This is going to set up both Something and Mindfreak to go for a really valuable lurk plays through art here. Mindfreak has to get smokes down before he goes for it though.
And he does. Both of those already blocking off the vision that Kesna would have had otherwise. Jing committing to the plant. You see a nice sidestep of the Trailblazer, but no information found. Melser getting one with the Sheriff. Once again, you see the buy is not great. Davies and Klaus with Stingers, trying to make something out of nothing. I just don't know how they will. Seeker's invested, and they're going to scale up. They're going to push behind it. Something's there to greet, man. Almost lands a second shot before dashing away. Devi, patience on that kill. No rush, all calm.
And they pick up Kessensop too, so that's going to get going again. It's time for this timeout for KRU. Maybe long past.
Yeah.
As we go through the second quarter of this game. That's just ridiculous from Something,
Enemy
man.
remaining.
A lot of people were kind of preying on the downfall of him because he's never had a global tournament yet, and who knows how this tournament proceeds. Right now, I think he's looking in great form.
Yeah. Yeah, I think any questions that may have been asked about him on the big stage and would there be a drop-off? My man just put his phone number.
You just doxed yourself.
Yeah. Bro, I'm really sorry for whatever you've just done to yourself. I also hear he has Riot gun buddies to give away, so text him.
No.
Text him and get it from him. I'm sure he'll hook you up.
That's just harsh. That's so mean. That might be the meanest thing, cruelest thing you've ever done to somebody.
Oh, man, yeah. What adjustments do you make on the other side of this timeout? We'll take a look once again as we turn our attention back to the map. You see the buy for KRU. They've got plenty of rifles. Kesnet with the blades. You imagine with how he's handling his money, he's going to try to get another op online later in the half. But at this point, you're looking for any victory. I mean, the slightest something to get momentum back your way. And maybe it's courtesy of the blades.
This is the first time we're actually going to have a full B approach from PRX. It makes sense for them not to go for a lot of it, given they're not running Viper Harbor, but...
I mean, that flash is going to land, and I don't know if they knew that the wall was up, so he's going to be able to get away. I mean, that cascade was so well timed. Even denying the flash. Something with the op. Creeping his way forward and dashing right back. KRU have done well to take a step back on this and absorb some of that pressure, but that's going to hurt. We're going to see the first ult from Jin go online, and my goodness, he never stopped moving. Fully holding W, fully getting a kill, and he's getting a chance to do it again. There it is, the shorty not finding it, but Mindfreak does. Devi's going to get the spike down. Backside, not safe. Link, not safe. Pearl, not safe.
He's going for more, man. Jing just doesn't care.
Pure disrespect, and when you're fragging like this, when everything is vibing, I get it. 7 in a row now for PRX.
And from a team who's been on the receiving end of a half like this, or actually on the
dealing end,
dealing end of a half like this has got to be shocking if you're KRU right now. Just getting destroyed here on Pearl.
And
this is why they pick it, man.
Yeah. That high turns into a real low real fast when you've got PRX across the screen.
Yeah. Not hoping for it, but hopefully KRU is not falling back down to the despair that the 0-9 season had them in.
Oh, that flash was a little bit off. This was the first time that KRU pushed into that, I mean, that miserable setup that PRX have been dropping towards A main.
I mean, they kind of succeeded.
Yeah,
Not completely losing the round right away.
No, yeah, and I think it was, I mean, there was a little bit less behind it, and then Jing's second flash doesn't fully curve around the wall.
Yeah. The follow-up from PRX is just so easy, though, now. They can just follow the path of least resistance. Only one Seeker goes towards this A site, but that's actually misdirection.
And something has gotten out onto the site, and Kesnick clotheslines him.
Good idea. Almost got Nags it while he's blind there.
Orb scooped up. The only rifle in the hands of Kesnet. He's playing from safety right now. As DRX look to get the 8th round in a row, and you see Dubai having to dance around the silhouette that's been drawn. Excellent flash to buy some time, allow him to reposition. Looking for more, it's just a Marshall in the hands of Davies, and yeah, he deals a little bit of damage, but it's just not enough, man.
Dude, I swear, I watch Device sometimes, and I'm like, am I watching something? Because he just pulls out some of the most ridiculous shots. Some of the shooting style as well that I see from Forsaken from something where he's just tapping away.
Yep.
Finished.
I mean, that.
Do you think it'd be a good strat to just have all 5 players run the same sense, same keyboard, same mouse, and just swap to the best player whenever he dies?
Just play musical chairs. Different harbor wall out from the defense, a little bit further up to perhaps suggest that there's aggression coming down B, but that's not the case. The nice thing, though, for KRU is that it forces Paper X to invest a little bit of utility that they would be using deeper down B otherwise.
Here. Here.
It's been so difficult for KRU to find these early fights because it's so difficult to deal with the A main pressure, that B link pressure that Paper X has found so much success with. And Klaus is out here. He's playing an off angle on the backside of this.
Oh, he's tucked further back. Wisely, look at Kesnet. Finding timing around the wall.
Still has his dash too, the flash to go up.
Remember that box. New addition to the map. He doesn't go up on it off the flash. I thought he would. Jinx the first up. He's tucked, but something was aware. It doesn't matter. The Reckoning causing problems, throwing the attack into disarray. But that's where Paper X are comfortable. They don't mind it at all. Look at how far up Jing is already. Klaus waiting on the other side, unaware. Lands the shots anyway.
Advantage finally for KRU.
30 seconds left.
For the first time all map. Can Paper X add another win to their repertoire? Yeah, you win when you're up big, and you win when you're down 1. Forsaken falling 2. Mindfeek filling in on the space that was left. Klaus.
Lockdown just solidifies the round though. Yeah, it's over.
1 enemy remaining.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Finally on the board. 10 rounds in, they're finally on the board. Deal with this aggression from Paper X through this B side very well. And it takes another 40 seconds for them to close it out. So close to actually getting success on that backside is Paper X, but KRU hang on.
Yeah, huge from Klaus. Huge from Kesnet to get the opener onto something. Paper X, so able to buy right back up. Jing has his ult once again.
And so does Forsaken. Just instantly picks up this orb because there hasn't ever been challenges down B long, so it's completely free for them. Molly as well to clear the back hall.
No real threat to that lockdown. The flash up, Jing takes the space, and look at something. He's up in heaven, do they know? Did you hear the updraft? Yeah, it seems like they may have. You see the Molly dropped at his feet. He's got to reposition. Heaven, not an option. What about Link? Can he snap? No. Melser takes care of him. The Seekers and the Trailblazer paving the way for KRU to try to get back out onto this site.
Oh, this is going to be a classic pro round. Full spam coming in.
Well, you've got that to deal with too. 2 flashes. The pop through. Davies cleans it up. And now the Seekers as well. Everything invested into this round. Nothing left on the table except for Nags at top. Or Assault, excuse me. And he falls. KRU keep them back. How does Mindfreak 1v3 this? You can't count him out.
That Cove just went up. It's not broken yet, so.
He should be good. He should be good.
Damage done here by Mindfreak is huge. It comes still low for KRU. But the fact that they're able to withstand all that util. You said Paper X threw everything at that round. The Seekers, the run it back from Jing. All the mollies, the post plant, the lockdown too. There's definitely still room for KRU to bring back this half to 4, but to win out, such a tough task. Paper X can at any point just switch back to the earlier game plan.
Sure.
Pushing through street, pushing through A main. And I like what KRU's doing. They're actually stacking that side of the map where they could get switched on and just playing full retake on B.
Hey.
I'm curious to see how Nags wants to use the pit in the rest of this half.
You see the setup that we saw last time. You see the dog, the hot hands, and the nano behind it to make sure Link is theirs. Poises him quite nicely for a B split.
And the fact that we've seen this like 3 times so far indicates to me that they want to switch it up, but I'm seeing the exact same split coming through.
It's the same hit. It's the exact same hit, even with the Cosmic Divide. That high tide should provide a little bit, but the both duelists can just disrespect and push out and look at something. Fully pushing forward. Another kill found.
This is playing out exactly the way that the last round went too, where they had that Cosmic Divide, the same exact split.
Blades
on the flank.
Blades for Kesnet. A 1v2, a winnable one. Not able to land the shots on the first. Blades not online, but that op's gonna connect.
He has one more.
He's got one blade and the op! Kesnet with the shot to inject some life into the Latin American representatives.
And he was instantly up on his feet for that one. That looked like CNET's clutch from before, but full blind at the same time. What is this?
The first a gift. The second was a gift too, man.
Watch the pop off here too. Instantly up on his feet.
All it takes is a spark. All it takes is a spark. But the problem is, you may have had a spark, but there's an overwhelming fire on the other side. See that setup once again. The op shot from Kesnel not landing. But that one does. Jink just a little ahead. A little bold, a little confident perhaps. Look at how invested KRU are into holding A.
They didn't see something. They didn't check it. They didn't check it. Oh, no.
No, it's a disaster. It's a disaster, but Nagzet's able to stop it. Land the shots. And my goodness, I didn't think I'd say this, but KRU have somehow stabilized this in the tail end of the first half.
They might have just gotten ignited here. Could it be 4 in a row? Or could it be Divide with the 1v4? He's got a free B site to go for the splat, looking for an extra pick before going for it though. Which makes it even more difficult for him.
Oh, he tucks up ahead of the alarm bot.
All KRU have to do is wait now and just go for the swing together, all flood at the same time.
Yeah, because there's, okay. Kesnet cleans it up, KRU gets a 4 again, managing to stabilize after the shellacking that they took in the opening of this half.
This could have been a flawless half from PRX. That's what people had on their mind when it was 8-0, but they get all 4.
I mean, and you see it on some of the members of PRX too, something hands up. KRU once again showing signs of they've given them a reason to be excited. The last 4 rounds going their way, keeping this thing competitive as we turn to the second half. Balla with me on the call, PRX up cozy though, now they're on the defensive side.
Oh, look at this. KRU is trying to dodge the Sky Flash that would come in. The Sky Flash isn't on this side of the map. Might be positioned right now. Instead, PRX wants to just deal with this as a trap play in mid. And they might get a surprise on the other side if this A-pop comes fast here. Gonna have to play full retake on it. Yeah, the setup for the execute is ready. So this trap from PRX, they're gonna have to shift gears.
And they've got a lot to deal with too, not just that high tide that you see, but it's been set up for the Viper Wall to cause problems too, and they're scaling up. Look at how far up Kesnet is now. And there's a flash on the other side. He tucks, no idea. Something 29 HP, and now presence found, but Kesnet's given up on it. They're not concerned with him at all anymore. They need to turn attention to the fight that's happening on the site. Fortunately for them, Melzer and Nagzet are able to keep them back. Something and Divide have to do this on their own. It's going to require a little bit of help. Something in the 1v3. Nagzet cleans him up. Another pistol. 3 of 4 in favor of KRU.
They're really dominating these super important rounds when it comes down to it throughout this series so far, but 5 in a row as well. starting to really get some momentum behind this. And it seems calm. It seems exactly what Aguero was talking about. For this team, for his team. Got to convert here on the anti-eco cleanly. They've got a lot of rifles invested into this, so any damage done by PRX could be brutal to KRU's economy.
It's the Marshall in the hands of something. It's the biggest thing you're going to have to deal with. And he's instantly been peppered. Has to take a step back.
And look at this orb that's being placed here by Nags. It's actually the attack side Viper orb on that choke. They use that to pop frequently through and deny information for the players who are trying to jump peek down B long. That sort of thing makes it really difficult. You can see PRX trying to get some info. Something just peeked on top, and that's actually going to call the rotate maybe in time here for this A hit.
Well, it all depends on how fast KRU move. Yeah, you're right. We have to remember the weaponry is still not great. Devi's going to be the first here. He's got nothing but a classic. Still one flash at hand. And it was in the wrong place. Kazanit's able to find a window to get a kill onto Jing. The second is snappy. 3 on the round, and that one was fully blind. Can he get the ace? No. Denied by Klaus and Davies, but the round for KRU nonetheless. The Prime gaming flawless as KRU get to 6.
And this comeback is in full effect now. Beautiful stuff from them. And you're right, that flash miss gave some misinformation to PRX. And KRU's able to really punish that. I think PRX expected a little slower of a hit, which has been the cadence that KRU's gone for throughout this series so far. Once again, dodging this flash. And you can see Molly inside of the smoke. They get Jing the orb.
I mean, it's almost the exact same setup, just inverted.
Oh, and something on the other side of the map takes down Nag, so.
Wait, look at where he was.
Yeah, all the way deep. He pushed way up, used the dash to get out, and he's going to rotate all the way back towards A. The thing is now, KRU hitting back into B might be the perfect timing. They do have an alarm route on the choke, so Forsaken is going to be able to feel that, but without the wall, without the orb here from KRU, it's going to be difficult to actually maintain the same amount of presence that you normally have with the Viper Harbor without your Viper.
Yeah, and I think the Cascade 2 is going to be the tip ahead of time for them to rotate over. You see PRX have already dropped both duelists back towards B.
Yeah, but there's still 2 flankers on the map. And now only 3 remain. Overall, it's turned into 3 flankers essentially, and they're just getting picked apart.
I mean, this feels like what we saw previously. They've spread themselves a little thin because they find themselves down in numbers, and one falls, and there's just such a massive gaping hole in what's left. PRX are able to pounce on that.
We've seen rounds like this on Split where KRU has to rely on 3 individual
30
bombs.
seconds left.
That was just 2-player approach in this 2v5. You can hear a pin drop in the arena right now. On the map, finally erupts, and it erupts with a kill in favor of
10
Melser.
seconds left.
Device positioning here should be able to secure the round. Klaus, no idea as to what's going on. Melser's left in a 1v4. He's trying to get away and find some space.
Jing's just watching his teammate.
Yeah. The vibes are good. The vibes are good. Device gonna get the defuse. PRX will get to 9.
Every single anti-bonus that PRX needs to get, they get. All 3 when KRU's won the pistols.
Wow.
There's that initial pick. I mean, it changes everything, especially when Nags is such a key factor towards denying information on this map, like I just spoke about in the prior round. And look at this. Odin bought up here from Forsaken as we come back on screen.
And Odin.
And there's 4 players looking towards Belong. Forsaken, he's not set up early enough. I thought he was going to try to spam through the cascade that goes down Belong. Instead, he's set up double doors.
Right where Davies is currently posted up, but the turret will be the contact. And you see him rotating back towards B, where you're right, 4 members are.
Yeah, but the Odin spam is going to be a lot more difficult now to get through. He's going to have to use it through the high tide when the execute comes in, and Melser does have the Reckoning too. So, does he position it far enough that it's actually forcing Forsaken to get off the angle?
I mean, look at how far back PRX is playing.
Oh, and that just got spotted too, the audio cue that the Odin was in play. It's almost a death sentence to continue through with that execute idea.
And KRU are certainly aware of that. You see him flipping the map, but PRX wise to it. You've got the turret, you have a flash, just cleared out Art to get some info.
Man, it's crazy that Forsaken at the beginning of the round ended up putting his turret deep through that double doors.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing, if it goes unpunished, gets you insane value.
Yep.
And it does. You just got information of them coming through mid, crossing through mid as well.
No Divide for Flash, or no Flash for Divide currently. That's going to leave things back a little bit further. Divide should have a chance to make a real nice play here, but the Reckoning is going to cause problems. Zol used Kesnet, disposes of it. He's trying to find another. Oh, Forsaken with the Odin!
What is going on?
Where was that from?
Just deep down flowers.
Oh, it's a disaster once more. And a Prime Gaming flawless once more for PRX.
Show me the spam. What in the world was that?
Like us, but different.
I mean, what value?
And take a look at that replay once again. Yes.
Yeah, and it came in combination there with Jinx Molly too, so they're starting to move away from that and they run into the spam. It's perfect. And we got a timeout here. As we get glimpses in what must be a 4 a.m. watch party or something like that in Singapore.
That sun was coming through though. Yeah, a little bit. Either way, yeah. Plenty of reasons for the fans in Singapore to cheer. And for KRU, again, Paul, it just feels like when KRU are starting to get some footing, there's just something that PRX do that's different. They just flip a switch, whatever it is. And honestly, this feels a little bad to say, but it kind of feels like PRX are toying with them a little bit, right? Like keeping them in it, and then as soon as you get a little confidence, they're just punched right back down.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. Other teams wouldn't be able to, keep the vibes, the momentum going after getting punched on pistol, after continuously losing streaks like this to KRU. But PRX is the worst at it. I mean, the best at it in a sense. The worst to play against when you're trying to get that momentum going.
Sure.
And I have to point out as well, PRX, Alex has not talked to the team one time other than the KRU timeouts because he hasn't called one.
I mean, he hasn't had to.
And KRU is down to 0, so they've got to get through this comeback without help of Coach Adam. And it's an eco round too. Might buy Stinger up still.
But there it is, the gravity well on the second flash. I mean, come on, 4 flashes invested. All for 1 kill, a costly one though. And they just scale so hard off of that. That's so difficult to keep track of in the moment. You've got the Sky Flash, okay. Oh, there's a Phoenix Flash too.
Yep.
Oh, there's another Sky Flash.
Yep. And it's impossible to turn them all too.
Yeah.
The combination of Sky Flash with any other flash in the game is really tough, but in specific, the Phoenix Flash, which is already tough to dodge.
Mm-hmm.
But if you dodge it and then the Sky Flash is behind you, you're getting flashed anyways.
Right.
And they're just following up with this push. There's no alarm bot here. Turret is there, but they can just walk right behind it.
Oh, I think it just got recalled too.
And meanwhile, I mean, they've got a double flank through sewers here, which is quite good, but I have to point out Forsaken getting so much information on the rest of the map. Turret got broken early in B-Link. Again, setting that up aggressively. And
there goes one of the flanks. Davies is fallen, and the flank is all that remains. Nags out with the Sheriff, him against the world. Been able to upgrade a weapon.
Might have to just save it.
Yep.
Has money to buy next round, but the bank from PRX is starting to get up there, so decision to be made with the 15 seconds remaining, how to use it effectively.
Yeah, scrap a little, see what you can do to hurt their economy.
10 seconds left.
And he is close to a pit, so 2 kills and a death, or 1 kill. And a death would also get him to 1 orb away, so.
But alas, none of those things will be found. And so we turn our attention to the next round where PRX get just a little bit closer to disposing KRU.
And they're going through the motions now too. KRU it starts to feel a little bit repetitive, starts to feel like they're running out of ideas.
Yeah.
And again, to bring it back towards the LCQ run, all of that, they've gotten 5 series wins in a row after losing 9 in a row at the beginning of the year throughout the season.
Oh, they're going to want to go aggressive here down long. Does he have ult? No, he has no ult, but he's got to flash through it. Checking back sight between the flash and the spam.
You never expect that to be going down when you have the Odin spamming, right? You expect that Odin to be deep back, and it's also covering up the footsteps of Jing there. So all of a sudden, you could have gotten hit by a flash in your face.
And the
KRU
deep
wise
alarm
to fall
bot.
off.
Dude, the deep alarm bot too. You know, I've used this word to describe PRX a couple times, but I can't help but go back to it. It's suffocating.
Yep.
Turret out, Shrine.
And again, credit to Forsaken so often. They did clear the alarm bot, so that's quite good, but Forsaken gets a rap as being somebody who, like, you know, doesn't really play a normal Sentinel role. And here he's getting so much value on all of his pieces of util, while also fragging out and going for, you know, pretty creative Odin plays as well. How often is he just playing on this B side alone, getting info, being able to call his teammate over? And once again, it's going to happen. The Cosmic Divide comes in before. That's blocking B-Link. Forsaken is happy to chill here.
Yeah, they're stuck on the other side of it. That Cove will provide some cover and allow them to get out. Klaus is still behind it. Davies has his ult, but Kesnet's already dead. Spam just a little bit off, not casting in the right place. And there's that lockdown. Backside taken by Melser and Nagzet as well.
That's a tough spot to deal with the lockdown too, and Mind Freak, if he gets that kill, this is a doable round, but now that they're pushed back so far, it starts to look a little impossible.
That was so bold. Fortunately for them, not punished, but well, I don't think anything's ever impossible when you're talking about PRX, and they're flooding out from heaven into the cloudburst, trying to find space, and it is ill-advised.
Still a chance.
How do we keep finding ourselves in these positions where we're talking about KRU still having a chance? It feels like that shouldn't be the case.
Especially at the beginning of the game, when they went on that 8-0 streak.
Yeah.
The fact that we are here, pretty impressive. The fact that we are here, to me, speaks to the volumes to the level that KRU is still maintaining here. But it's about closing out games like this. That was their issue throughout the regular season. During LCQ, they didn't really get tested in this way.
No.
Where they're down multiple times.
I mean, the quality of opponent is just so different, so much more difficult to execute in that level. But they certainly have to try, and it's going to be a try towards B into the teeth of this Killjoy defense that Forsaken has set up.
Yeah, it doesn't have the Odin anymore. So it has to play a little bit more considerate. And they're walking back. How did they get through it?
Hey, they've contacted their way up. Forsaken, though, that knife, he's flashed, he's swung on, he's got to get away, and he can't.
How did they get through the alarm bot there? Was there a cove or something on top of it?
Oh, I think they may have just barely slipped by it. But you're right, it's still up. Forsaken's now down, though. So it's not going to matter. You see the dog trying to clear some space. Something coming through with Biop, and Jing not far behind him. First shot rattled, nothing found the Cove, and it's just a dry peek on the outside of it. I mean, you see firsthand the disrespect he shows in the face of utility, but he cannot disrespect Davies like that. KRU refusing to go away.
And Kesna has come alive multiple times throughout this series. He's just been beasting. That's why he's
Look at
one of the
that.
highest rated duelists in this tournament, along with something.
Oh, don't do this now.
Oh,
Don't do this now. That's, oof. That was almost the fourth. It's PRX feeling some of the pressure, perhaps throw a pause on the situation and breaking what you were alluding to earlier, Bala.
Yep.
First timeout called on the PRX side of things.
For the entire series, and I think it's warranted at this point.
Yeah.
Number one, you have to figure out how they got through that alarm bot. So Forsaken has a question to be answered, and then you also want to start getting a difference in setup coming here, because it's the same 1-4 over and over. And you're also looking at a game where something has cooled down a lot since that first half.
Sure.
And he's trying to get value. He's trying to find ways to get involved with the op, but KRU is just not finding him. So good on them, but again, it's been a stagnant approach on this defense. Always Forsaken, playing that B side, always trying to get value. Other than the one time they pushed up, it's something. They got to start throwing more curveballs at them.
I mean, he already has two. You don't have a third.
No, come on. Boo, Doug, boo.
we'll see how things look on the other side of this timeout. Again, KRU have put together the last two, sticking around in this thing. Kesnet and Nagzet both with ults.
We might get the knives battle between the two Jet players as well. And finally, they're going to go towards this A push, which Jing and Mindfreak might go for that same sort of setup where they throw the molly, they throw the flashes in. Actually, Levi's coming around too.
I think they will, because Jing is just 1 point away from having his ult online. So there's priority and there's value in that orb. He's going to get it for free. Now, KRU can re-aggress with no real idea of what's on the other side.
This is dangerous to stick around in A main here when Jing does have that ult. PRX is known to re-aggress at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
That's why they put up the turret. That's why they re-dog through mid.
It's
They
interesting.
spot Jing again, is repositioned. They know what's going on.
It's interesting too. Baby Bay was talking about it on the desk. You want to fight fire with fire. Them knowing that he's just 1 point away from the ult and not taking the fight. Holy smokes! Something. What? Yeah? You just tired of the game? You want to finish this off?
Dude, that's such a high-level play right there from something. The dog spots Jing. They see the reposition. They think that push is going to come through Art instead, and something is perfectly timed to push into A main, where they completely don't expect a second duelist.
And just to do it so boldly and so confidently by himself. And he's going to find more with the blades. Not able to get the third, but so much damage already done. Melser on the repeat. Nagzet dipping his way back in, but there's the ult, there's the
Nice
flash.
dodge.
Nothing found. Very good. Very well handled by Melser. Can he keep them in this by himself? Nagzet in a 1v3, and he's so far out. He's so wide. Cannot control the spray. Cannot control the situation. PRX series point.
Match point.
I thought KRU was doing a great job in that initial approach to the round, but then PRX come through with, again, super high-level play from something. It's such a good call. Would love to know
Enemy remaining.
which player, which IGL on PRX is calling that one.
Whose cue is that?
Yeah, because that is very nice stuff. And now they've got the lockdown too, which is such a key tool that they can return to playing Forsaken on this B site. The retakes will be strong for them.
Jing is so far up down long already. Devi is there, tucked behind him.
Oh,
He's going to get pushed off that angle. The turret spots a little, and you see both initiators with flashes at the ready.
That's crazy too, because that's usually a cue that they're going to play up close and try to punish you as you fall off of that molly position. Instead, neither player peeks, which, yep, exactly. They're trying to bait him in when they think he's not there, and all of a sudden things are falling apart. But they're backside, never mind.
Quickly, backside's not going to matter. Klaus keeps one down. Seeker's used and Spike planted. A 2v4 just to stay alive. Something waiting this out. Oh, and now going forward, he's got, oof, I thought he was going to go.
Spot him up close, though. He's going for info.
He has no idea.
Standing.
He drops him, but Klaus is left alone. I mean, this from PRX is just too much to handle. We saw it on Split. We'll see it here on Pearl. An inevitability. Klaus falls. PRX take down another.